people, these random people on the internet, do not know what the fuck they're talking about.
Well, my friend, it's not only on the internet, it is also random people that you meet in the bar. This is a little story time of yesterday night. This is your favorite half Chinese. I met two people in a bar in Chinatown, of all places, and these two people came from Sweden, which was very interesting because I've never met a real life Swedish person that I know of. So I was quite excited to meet Swedish people, and because I only know them from the internet. And what's very important to this story is I was also the very first Chinese person they ever spoke with in their entire life. And the man is like 2 years or something like older than me, or maybe three. And we have a nice conversation, and then all of a sudden the China bashing starts. The man starts to talk about the great firewall of China, right? And he was under the impression that the government in China has this firewall to prevent Chinese people from knowing what's happening outside of China. I said, well, sir, that's not true. And I wanted to explain it to him that it is to keep certain businesses out that are not allowed to do business in China. But the Chinese people, however, are allowed to go on YouTube, Twitter, etc., and they can use a VPN to do so. But yeah, it was not really accepted because the white man knows better about China than Chinese people themselves. And how he knows it? Because Western media, not out of experience or knowing it from other Chinese people. No, because other Chinese people just don't know what's happening in China, according to him, because we are also very scared to talk. Because he says, then he starts on the censor. I said, well, we have a censor here too, but it's not that bad as you think. They are allowed to talk about politics on the internet in China. You just have to do it in a specific way, in a decent way. You should not be screaming that presidents need to be overthrown and all these kind of things. I said, well, why don't you have a look on the Chinese internet and translate the pages so you can read what they say? And he gets angry. No, I will not. I said, why do you get upset with somebody just telling you it might be interesting to you if you have a look for yourself to see what is really being said? But yeah, that's a little bit too much always for Western people. When you bring up evidence or tell them to a place so they can find it out themselves, they get very frustrated because I think it is hurting their false sense of superiority. They see that they are failing. Anyway, so another topic came up, and that was by his wife claiming that China is a colonial power, which to me was very interesting because I studied the Chinese history, and I asked her, I didn't know about that. Can you tell me which is a colony of China? And then she says, Africa. I said, well, that's very interesting. I have not heard about it, but would you mind sharing with me what is an African, which African nation is a colony of China? And then she started a totally unrelated story about China tapping on the government in Ghana. And obviously, I had to throw in the United States in the mix. I said, you mean like the United States is tapping in on Europe? Which they don't have a problem with at all. Weirdly enough, the most aggressive country in the world that's responsible for virtually all the wars in the world, and we have no worries about their tapping us. They literally destroyed our economy and blew up our pipeline, and we have no problem with them tapping us. But we have a problem with China tapping on Ghana. Now, I've never heard of that story, honestly, and I asked them, would you mind? I told them straight away, well, I have not heard of that story. Would you mind sharing the evidence? And the man blew up for me asking, how dare a Chinese person ask for evidence after having to read and listen and watch for the past 10, 15 years all the lies about China on the internet, Western media, etc. It is quite normal for me as a normal person not to totally directly accept anything that anybody just say. But yes, if you are Chinese like me And even as a half Chinese, I should just accept whatever a white man is telling me about China, even though it is not true. So I asked him, do you think that you know better than somebody who has family and friends over there and is in contact with them? Then, yeah, here it comes. My family and friends are afraid to talk. It's unbelievable. These people are lecturing Chinese people. Well, dear sir, I know you're going to watch this because you subscribe to my YouTube. How do you know if the Chinese don't talk? How do you know if the Chinese don't talk? Do you know my family? You don't. Do you know my friends? You don't. If you knew my friends, you would never say that. Anyway, that's beside the point. So we went on, and all these BS comes about North Korea, etc. I said, well, have you ever been there? And he gets more and more angry. I'm just asking, right? Have you been there? Have you seen it yourself? Because the media is lying. I don't trust the media. And he gets even more angry for me not trusting Western media. So I told him, well, didn't they lie to us about Iraq? And he didn't want to acknowledge it. So I made it more easy for him. Did they find weapons of mass destruction in Iraq? He didn't want to answer. So I made it more easy for him and provided him with the answer. No, they did not. And then I went on to Syria. I went on to Lebanon. I went on to Vietnam and on and on and on. And I told him how many millions of people lost their lives because of our media lies. And that is why I do not blindly accept Western media lies. I need to have evidence. That is very important to me because I never ever want to be a part of the downfall of another nation, specifically not China. Definitely not China. All right? So, if anybody has something to say, you have to provide the evidence. Otherwise, you better tone it down a little bit because I'm not letting it go. Anyway, I just wanted to share this to show you, my dear friend. Don't mind it. It's not only on the internet. They're also in the bar of Chinatown, of all places. And these Swedish people are so funny. The level of how they are brainwashed, this is funny. This is the most fun part. So they live in the Netherlands, somewhere in the area. I don't know exactly if in Chinatown or in the area of Chinatown. Yes, mind you, it's very important. When they left, I want to shake their hand because to me it's just a conversation, right? The man does not want to shake my hand. Then his wife tells me, I think he thinks you are a Chinese spy. The level of being brainwashed into thinking that somebody in a bar sitting, having nothing to do with government or whatsoever, is a Chinese spy because he does not agree with you, because this person seems to be Chinese and has family and friends in China and knows what is going on there. Or because he asks for evidence of all the BS that you were telling him. Now I am a Chinese spy. Dear sir, if you are watching this, which you might, because you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and this will definitely go on YouTube channel, my question to you is, if you are so scared of Chinese people thinking differently than you because they have the experience of China and you don't, and because of that you deem them as a spy, very loosely termed now, why are you even in Chinatown? Because according to your logic, yes, because none of the Chinese will agree with you, all of them will be spies. Don't come in Chinatown. It is full of Chinese spies, according to your logic. See how hilarious you are? It's just ridiculous. Anyway, I just wanted to share this story to make you feel a little bit better. It's not only on the internet. You also find them in bars in Chinatown. Anyway, that was it. Your favorite half Chinese. Please like, share, and if you have not yet, then follow. And as always, have a great day. Your